Welcome back to Mosaic. I'm Rabbi Eric Weiss and honored to be your host. We're in the middle of a wonderful conversation about the Jewish New Year, the time now between Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. We have with us Rabbi Michael Copeland, who is the Director of Interfaith Family Bay Area, and Avi Rose, who is the Executive Director of Jewish Family and Children's Services East Bay. Welcome back, Avi and Michael.
Thank you.
We have on the table a beautiful ritual object that is used at the Jewish New Year, typically thought of as the happy birthday of the year, the beginning of the new year and the birth of the world. Michael, let's talk a little bit about it. You brought it. I want you to tell folks what we have here.
Sure. So this shofar comes from an antelope. Many times they come from a ram, if they're the shorter version. And there's a lot of deep significance for the holidays. One is that the sounds in succession that are made with the shofar during the services are a long whole note and then a series of broken notes, and then we come back after that brokenness to wholeness again with a long steady call. And it really mirrors one of the major themes of the holy days, which is that we start whole in our lives and we become broken. We experience brokenness in the world around us and our own personal lives. But the reminder is that it will become whole again. It might not be fixed, but we'll feel wholeness again in our lives. So for me, it's been a very powerful ritual in that the days leading up to Rosh Hashanah every year, the month prior, the month of Elul, and the Hebrew calendar, we're actually asked to do this every day. And it's a ritual that I actually do with my children in the morning, and when we're rushing around in craziness, it's a reminder to kind of keep your eye on the big picture of life.
So in a moment, I know you're going to give it a good blow and have beautiful sound come out. But before we hear it, I want to just talk a little bit about this sort of notion that we know, and maybe not everybody understands, that Judaism is a kind of an interesting combination of spiritual and theological and anthropological and historic. And on the spiritual level, you talked about the sound of the shofar is a kind of call to wholeness and a kind of spiritual wake-up call, a kind of alarm clock. But can you talk a little bit about where it comes from biblically, how it was used historically, why we think, I know this is an unanswerable question, but why do we think it's come to this point in our holiday celebration?
Well, we actually read about a ram in the powerful reading at the Rosh Hashanah services about Isaac's near sacrifice. His father almost sacrifices him, and it's a powerful and difficult story for many. And the hope and the redemption in the story is that rather than sacrifice his son, there's a clear message in the story that we don't do that, that's not going to happen in this tradition, but rather a ram is caught in a thicket nearby, and he is sacrificed instead. So that is an enduring symbol for us of hope and redemption over time. So I think that in a way, historically, the shofar, the ram's horn, has actually been used for many, many different things. And in the Torah and the Jewish sacred scriptures, we read about all sorts of times when it was used as a meeting call for the community. But it is an enduring symbol over the centuries.
Wonderful. So why don't we give it a try? We're gonna. Beautiful. We're going to take a quick break and come back in just a moment here on Mosaic.